In the rugged mountains of southwest Pakistan lies its largest province of Balochistan. Far from the bustling cities of Lahore and Karachi, this region has been the battleground for a 60-year-long insurgency by the Baloch ethnic minority. Al Jazeera's Islamabad bureau chief Ahmed Zaidan is heading into the heart of that insurgency. It's been a 7-hour drive, which started from the provincial capital of Quetta. It has taken months of sensitive negotiations to get here. Finally, Al Jazeera gets to meet the Baloch fighters. It's a first. They have never agreed to be filmed before. As some prepare breakfast, others prepare to receive their leader. The firing of an RPG announces his arrival. And the leader is escorted to meet Zaidan. Given the secretive nature of their base, the fighters are wary of allowing cameras to film it. So they take their leader and Zaidan to an area away from their camp. The Baloch uprising against Pakistan's government has received little attention worldwide. Most eyes have been turned toward the fight against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda in other areas of Pakistan. But the Baloch people have never accepted being part of this country. Many of them demand greater control over Balochistan's natural resources and mineral riches. And these fighters who met with Al Jazeera demand outright secession from Pakistan.
हमारा मकसद बलोच कौम की आज़ादी है, पंजाबी तसल्लुत से छुटकारा हासिल करना है और बलोच कौम के लिए एक खुशहाल ज़िंदगी है जिसमें अमन, इंसाफ और बराबरी हो। हम उसके लिए जदोजहद कर रहे हैं। सवाल ये पैदा होता है पाकिस्तानी कौन है? पाकिस्तानी कौम है? पाकिस्तानी तो कौम नहीं है। यहाँ सिंधी है, बलोच है, पश्तून है, पंजाबी है, ये सारे अक़वाम हैं। पाकिस्तानी तो कोई कौम नहीं है। अब हमें ज़बरदस्ती क्यों कोई पाकिस्तानी बना रहे और बना के हमारे वसाइल को लूटना चाहते हैं? तो यहाँ हम उसके इदारों के ख़िलाफ़ लड़ रहे हैं, जितने भी उसके इंतज़ामी इदारे हैं, चाहे पुलिस है, कोई और इदारे हैं, जो इस लूटमार में उसको तक़वियत दे रहे हैं, जो उसकी ताकत को बढ़ा रहे हैं, हम उनको कमज़ोर कर रहे हैं।
Obsessed with secrecy, like most guerrilla movements, the Baloch insurgents fight in separate, independent groups, with elusive leaders whom very few can identify. Baloch Khan tells Al Jazeera that it is this secrecy and lack of a command structure that will make sure that the Baloch insurgents are not easily defeated.
हम एक मरकज़ एक जगह नहीं बनाना चाहते, शायद नहीं चाहते इसलिए कि तामिल टाइगर्स का आप लोगों के सामने है कि एक बिल्कुल वो उन्होंने एक मुनज़्ज़म फ़ौज बनाई जिनका यूनिफॉर्म था और एक ख़ित्ते में उनका हाई कमांड भी आके ज़ाहिर हुआ। करते करते कुछ सालों में उन्होंने शिकस्त देखा। कुछ ऐसे वजूहात हैं, इसी वजह से हो सकता है आगे जाके जब ज़रूरत महसूस होगा हम एक होंगे, एक यूनाइटेड क्यों, हम एक कौम है, हम इस कौम की आज़ादी के लिए लड़ रहे हैं।
Baloch fighters say that it is this burning desire to free their land from Pakistan that sustains them in this harsh environment. But as they fight for separation, they blame the Pakistani army for instigating the conflict in the first place.
और ये जंग हमारे हाथों से ज़्यादा पंजाबी के हाथ में है, पंजाबी आर्मी के हाथ में, कि वो उसको किस तरफ ले जाना चाहता है। वो ज़्यादा बलोच पे प्रेशर डालेगा, वो ज़्यादा दबाने की कोशिश करेगा, हम ज़्यादा उभरेंगे। वो ज़्यादा बेरहमी करेगा, वो औरतों बच्चों को मारेगा, फिर हमें भी मजबूरन वो कदम उठाना पड़ेगा। वो बेगुनाह बलोचों को मार रहा है, फिर हम भी मजबूर होंगे, कहीं ना कहीं जाके हम भी मजबूर होंगे, सिर्फ़ और सिर्फ उसको सिखाने के लिए, उसको सबक देने के लिए। हो सकता है अगर वो कला को बहुत ज़्यादा बमबारी करेगा हमारे आम लोगों पे, जो पहले भी किया उसने, शायद इस वक्त तक हम सब्र से काम कर, तो हो सकता है कि हमारा टारगेट इस्लामाबाद भी हो, हमारा टारगेट लाहौर भी हो, हमारा टारगेट पिंडी भी हो, उसमें तो कोई शक नहीं। मगर अब हम समझते हैं अब भी है वो हालत, हो सकता है कि हम कुछ वक्त और उनको देखना चाहते हैं।
Baluch Khan's ancestors, the Baluch people, traced their roots to ancient tribes from around the city of Aleppo in Syria. They believe these tribes migrated to this region in pre-Christian times. Over the centuries, they say, this rugged landscape sheltered them from numerous invading armies and helped the Baluch people maintain their independence.
I think Balochistan is best understood as a no-man's land nobody really cared about, as a very mountainous and desert-like area which was largely irrelevant throughout history. For that reason, Balochistan served very well the purpose of being a refuge area for people who could not be accommodated in the Indian or Iranian empires, who moved to today's area, to Balochistan, taking refuge and carving out some space for themselves. According to Baluch perception, the Baluch see themselves as people of Arab origin. Some Baluch scholars even see the Baluch as conquerors moving eastward, always in search of freedom and self-determination.
Kalat, the historic capital of Balochistan. 6 decades have passed since it was annexed by Pakistan, one of that country's first acts as a newly formed state. Al Jazeera met with Emir Muhyiddin, a prince of the royal family that ruled Balochistan at the time that Pakistan took over. Muhyiddin says that the only reason Baluch leaders chose to join the new country was a sense of religious obligation. Both sides were Muslim.
Because of the backing of the British, and they gave a lot of trouble. Kalat, which represented most of what is Balochistan today and Baluch areas, they were given the choice to either become independent or become part of Pakistan. Both houses of common and the house of upper and lower houses, they voted for independence. Whereas my father, having influence of Islamic, and at that time of the thought that an Islamic republic is being made in Pakistan, he had his preferences that we should have an understanding with Pakistan and then join Pakistan. So during this interim period, force was used, army action in April 1948 was used. You see, Pakistan became independent in August 1947. Balochistan joins Pakistan in April 1948. For this 9-month period, Balochistan was independent. Kalat was independent. Then by force, the instrument of accession was signed and Pakistan took over the state of Kalat.
Balochistan was forcefully occupied, annexed by the Pakistan forces. It wasn't part of Pakistan in 1948. So Pakistani army rolled in Balochistan. Somehow under duress, the Khan of Kalat, who was the head of Balochistan, had to sign an accession treaty. So that was the main reason we all still do not recognize Balochistan as part of Pakistan, and we think it's an occupied territory.
Over the last 6 decades, the Baloch rebellion and Pakistan's suppression of it has claimed thousands of lives. Among the dead are many key leaders of the insurgency. One of the most prominent leaders killed was this man, Nawab Akbar Khan Bugti, a former minister in the government of Pakistan and a leader of the important Bugti tribe. At 80 years of age, he led the rebellion when General Pervez Musharraf was president. Musharraf attempted to negotiate with Bugti.
We found Nawab Akbar Khan Bugti very reasonable, amenable to compromise, willing to discuss, willing to listen, and willing to settle. But unfortunately, there is a mindset in Pakistan, in the Pakistani establishment, in the Pakistani civil and military bureaucracy, and I would even say among certain Pakistani politicians, that mindset is unwilling to concede the legitimate rights of the smaller provinces like Balochistan. And I remember a famous conversation with General Musharraf. When we were about to clinch the settlement, there were some impediments. And he said, how can we trust Bugti? How can we believe his intentions? I said, it's not a question of intentions. It's a question of getting the thing done.
When negotiations failed, the Pakistani army attacked Akbar Bugti's home village in December 2005. 8 months later, he was killed in a mountain hideout, along with 32 of his tribesmen.
Apparently, Pervez Musharraf proved it, that he does not have a single decent bone in his body. And what they did, we don't even know where my father is buried. We don't believe that all the drama that they brought that box and buried it in Dera Bugti and put locks on it. Who put locks on caskets and all that? Nowhere in the world, but in this country, you do all these stupid things, and you expect the people to praise and to say, oh, gee, we are the well-wishers of Pakistan. How can you expect any Baloch to be a well-wisher when you treat the Baloch like this, or our elders like this?
Bugti's death further fueled the Baloch rebellion. The fighting moved to the streets of Balochistan's cities and towns. Angry protesters targeted the symbols of Pakistan.
See, that's where this is where the establishment miscalculated. They thought that once we get rid of Akbar Bukti, everything will die out, not realizing that it will spread to each and every corner of Baloch land. Today, the movement which my father started has spread to each and every corner of the Baloch land in Balochistan. So you can see the rebellion some in 1948 and 58 and then 70s and now. So the process has always been there. And like I said, every nation wants to be free. And if the Baloch wants to be free, there is nothing wrong with that.
Baloch leaders, however enraged, were also afraid for their lives. Following the killing of Akbar Bukti, they gathered in Kalat, the former Baloch capital, to re-evaluate the insurgency. Such a traditional gathering of leaders and elders, also known as a jirga, had not taken place in Balochistan for over a century.
I called a jirga after 137 years. My great-grandfather Amir Khudaydat Khan called a jirga, and then I called a jirga in which 99% or let's say 98% of the Baloch participated. All the tribes participated, whether it was political parties, all political parties also participated.
There was a jirga here. All the sardars, all the political parties, they were here, and they all declared that we want our position which was before 1948. It was semi-independent. I don't say that even during the British we were absolute independent, but they were semi-independent. Few narrow-minded bureaucrats sitting in Islamabad, you see, with the mentality of a colonialist, they still overrule everything. They haven't learnt a lesson from Bangladesh. Bangladesh became independent. Bangladesh, they lost opportunities. And then they recognized Bangladesh themselves.
The Baloch are a staunchly tribal people. Each of the 18 major tribes is headed by a sardar or chieftain, and each sardar commands his own well-armed militia. The Mengals are one of the largest Baloch tribes, and its chieftain is Sardar Ataullah. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Zaidan met Ataullah in his stronghold. He refused to speak on camera, but stressed that he adamantly opposed any compromise with the Pakistani government. A few weeks after Al Jazeera met with Ataullah, Pakistan's Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani paid him a visit to persuade him to reconcile. But the Sardar was unmoved.
मैं मशकूर हूँ उनका कि वो तशरीफ़ लाया हमारे साथ बैठे चंद गप्पे की अपना वक्त ज़ाय किया हमारा तो वक्त होता ही नहीं है अपना वक्त ज़ाय किया.
In the push and pull between Pakistan's government and Balochistan's rebellious chieftains, the lives of ordinary Baloch people are at a standstill. Despite being Pakistan's largest province, Balochistan suffers from the lowest health, education, and living standards in the country. And the answer to the question of who is to blame for this chronic underdevelopment depends on who you ask.
People say that we don't have agriculture because there is no electricity. They come and blow up the pipelines. They come and blow up the electric power lines, the pylons. They come and blow up the gas installation. They want to blow up the gas. They want to come and blow up the railway track. And they want to come and sort of, try to hijack an aircraft. They make an attempt and kill the settlers. They want to come and destroy the schools. They want to come and kill the teachers. And any foreign investor who comes in. Now what are they doing? Are they helping any bloch cause? I would like to say they are the biggest bloody hurdle in the way of getting the bloch cause. So what they're doing, they're exploiting the right reasons for wrong ends.
Basically, Sardar are elected by the people historically, and they do not serve. They should not serve Pakistan. They should serve the people of Balochistan.
The federal government is fully responsible, not the Sardar. Because the Sardar, they were not having this authority to build school, to build colleges, to build hospital. The federal government from 1947 yet till now, they have not paid attention to this area.
What about all those Sardars who are not anti-development? I have not seen any development in their areas. Let's go start from Karachi. We go to Lasbela, Jam's area. Jam has been pro-establishment since day one. Let's go to the Jamalis. They have always been in government. Let's go to the Maksis. Let's go to Zairis. Let's go, you name it. Except for Murray, Bukti, Mangal, these three bad Sardars. What about all the good Sardars? Show me one college, show me one clinic, show me one hospital, show me one library, show me one school where they will send their own children.
Balochistan, Pakistan's least developed province, sits on untold amounts of wealth. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of oil and mineral reserves. At the University of Balochistan, Dr. Abdul Salam has studied these natural resources for years.
Really, our province, Balochistan, is very rich in a variety of minerals like iron ore deposit, like copper deposit, like chromite deposit, like oil and gas and zinc. The whole Balochistan is really full of these mineral resources. Iron ore is very abundant in Dilband area, in Chaghi area. More than 200 million ton iron is present in the Dilband area. More than 70 million ton iron is present in the Chaghi area. Similarly, copper is quite in a huge amount is present in the Chaghi area, like Sandak, like in the Kodik area. And it's as chromite in Muslim Bagh areas present in huge quantity. Just we need to explore these things, to exploit these things. And lead zinc is present in Laspela area. Oil and gas, in the Adera Bukti area, in the North Balochistan is quite common. These are quite huge resources for Balochistan. Gold is common. They are associated with the copper. I mean, they are present in Chaghi area, in the Kodik area, in the Sandak area.
बावजूद इसके कि इस सरजमीन में, बलोच सरजमीन में कोयला, गैस, पेट्रोल, संग मरमर, बहुत से ऐसे कीमती वसाइल हैं जो आम बलोच के खुशहाल ज़िंदगी के लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा हैं, मगर उससे दूसरे इस्तेफ़ादा कर रहे हैं, दूसरे फ़ायदा उठा रहे हैं।
आगाज़ हकूक़ बलूचिस्तान से इस सूबे में समाजी और इक़्तिसादी तरक्की के एक ऐसे दौर का आगाज़ होगा जिसमें इस्तिसाल नहीं बल्कि इंसाफ होगा। दहशत गर्दी नहीं बल्कि अमन और तहफ़्फ़ुज़ होगा। जहालत का अंधेरा नहीं बल्कि इल्म की रोशनी होगी। मायूसी नहीं बल्कि इत्मीनान होगा। मैं निहायत खलूस दिल के साथ आप तमाम की तरफ से इस ख्वाहिश का इजहार कर रहा हूँ कि हम उन तमाम सियासी क़ुव्वतों को साथ बातचीत करना चाहते हैं। हम इस मौजूद ज़बान के तवस्सुत से उनको बातचीत की दावत देते हैं।
After decades of fighting, the chieftains and the people of Balochistan were in no mood for dialogue. They had heard the Pakistani government's words of reconciliation before and felt that nothing had ever come of them. In 2010, the Pakistani government launched the Balochistan Rights Package, a program that promised schools, hospitals, roads, jobs, and financial support for the province. But on the streets of Balochistan, its people rejected the program, and the Baloch chieftains scoffed at the offer and refused to accept what they called the government's charity.
This is a sort of a zakat that has been given for the Baloch. And most of the people who are sitting in the government, maybe it suits them to do some corruption. But as far as the Baloch is concerned, they don't want any zakat, they don't want charity.
So provincial autonomy, development, these are, as one of your generals once said, peanuts for us. Slavery or high wages is not the substitute of independence. Suggesting to simpler people that we are ready to talk, whereas they're not. Concentration on armed struggle should be diverted to elsewhere. People giving up, people hoping, expecting.
This is the port of the city of Gwadar in southwestern Balochistan. Sitting on the Arabian Sea, it's a place that went from a fishing village to a full-fledged port city within the last decade. Gwadar is the place from where Pakistan plans to announce itself as an international shipping hub and a conduit for oil and energy for the rest of the region. Small wonder then that the country's government is vigilant about security here.
There is a healthy competition between Bandar Abbas and Gwadar and Karachi, Bin Qasim and Chahbar. So why not? Business is healthy competition. You see, now it depends on us that we should bring peace, we should give security to businessmen, and we should make this port a more viable, more marketable port than the others. You see, we should get into a competition. So if we, from now on, start thinking that there would be an unhealthy competition, no, I don't believe in that.
But to the Baloch people, Gwadar and its development are reminiscent of a mindset dating back to the British colonization of this region, one that built roads and railways to serve its armies.
These are destructive as I understand it. This is to sort of occupy you, bring in outside population and exploit your resources.
The people who are opposing these kind of activities, they are in a very small number. But their voice can be heard everywhere. Majority of the people they want development and progress.
While that may be true, the people of Balochistan don't necessarily want that development and progress to come from the Pakistani government, who they say can't be trusted. That sentiment was clear during a recent visit to Gwadar by the Pakistani Prime Minister. As he held a cabinet session in the city to launch work at the port, residents from the area staged protests condemning the government and its plans for that port.
आइए वजीर आला कुशित की चलने अरब के मारा कीशे रस्तगा अमित सरमचारा नि बरकता रस्तगा तो मेरी वाजा वती चौका वती जागा मंगुसा कैसे मर्ची मात पे तो ती चौका मंगुसा के काव की बरे और राव की बुरुए बल्कि वती जागा कि इरविन का सगा समाता निसरा कप्तगा हाँ बगुसा बुरुआ कुआ जंग पे के ना पपलू से नंगा अल्लाह कदम बना
This is a region that has seen decades of poverty and negligence. And people here feel that their needs can hardly be addressed by a prime ministerial visit or building a port.
पोर्ट जब बना तो यहाँ काम भी शुरू हुआ, इक्का दिक्का काम शुरू हो गया था। तो नाम था गवादर के बंदों का कि गवादर के बंदों के काम पे लगाएंगे, मगर गवादर के बंदे अभी बेरोज़गार हैं। मैंने तो पढ़ा नहीं है, मगर यहाँ पढ़े लिखे भी हैं, किसी ने एफए किया है, बीए किए हैं, वो बेचारा बेरोज़गार हैं। यहाँ के जो बंदे सब मचेरे हैं, उन लोगों ने दिन रात मेहनत किया अपने बच्चों के लिए, अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाया है और पढ़ा लिखाया है। किस लिए?
While local residents here are concerned about their basic survival, local politicians are also worried. What's happening in Gwadar cuts to the heart of their political future. They fear the influx of outsiders into the area and the demographic change that will bring about.
You are going to build the mega projects like Gwadar, and you are trying to make a big Karachi again in Balochistan. There is a problem with the Baloch because they have a big land with small population. We have only one guarantee which are asking from this federation, that the demographic change of the Baloch is a major danger for the Baloch people.
And my priority is to first to give employment to the locals, people who belong to this land, who are indigenous to this land. And if we don't find people of special skills, if they're not available here, so it is but national that we can get them from other places. You see, because we have to get the work going. And if in the local population we don't get a person with a particular skill, so I would never allow that work or that project to be stopped over there. No, I would find. But this should be very clear. I've spoken to the Prime Minister, to the high-ups in Islamabad, that people who would come from abroad, come from other places in Pakistan, they may buy property, they may indulge in trade and commerce activities, but we will never allow outsiders to vote here. Is the right to vote? No, not at all. And I'm very clear about that.
It's also very clear that what's happening in Gwadar is bigger than Balochistan and its people. This port has international significance, and what the Baloch people and their politicians have to say about it matters little.
There are two competing concepts. One is the American, who want to block the Chinese and the Russians and the mainland coming to the south, and the other, China, Pakistan, and this landmass of southwest China, West Asia, East Asia. We want the area to be open to all of them. There is conflict, and I'm sure that American, despite all their efforts, they cannot succeed in blocking. They cannot succeed in putting a check on this breakout into the south, to the warm waters of Arabian Sea, because they stand defeated in Afghanistan. And that is the problem at the moment, how they can manage their interests and yet they retreat from Afghanistan. This is the dilemma that they are facing today.
All the oil flow which goes from whether Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, or from Abu Dhabi, or from Iran and Iraq, this all goes through. This is a sort of a strategic hub, and if you are overlooking the hub and you have control over it, then you can control the economies of the world by regulating the flow of the oil. So this is a great game, you can say.
As Al Jazeera's Ahmed Zaidan makes his way back to the Baloch capital, Quetta, there's an overnight suicide attack targeting Pakistani paramilitaries in the area. More and more, such attacks are becoming a common occurrence, and there is a promise of more bloodshed to come.
How much of our people are being killed? Our killing is terrorism, their killing is target killing by us. Same coin, different meanings. Baloch kills, target killing. Terrible, inhuman, and they kill for the sake of humanity, culture, justice, so on and so forth.
अब मैं से भी नहीं है कि हम कहते हैं कि हम किसी की नस्ल खुशी करना चाहते हैं, नहीं, हम सिर्फ ये कहना चाहते हैं कि बलोच इस वक्त हालत जंग में, बलोच पे हर गुजरने वाले दिन बहुत ज़्यादा जुल्म हो रहा है। यहाँ पे आर्मी, खुफिया एजेंसी हैं, हमारे नौजवानों को अगवा कर रहे हैं, जो 2-2, 3-3 साल से जिनका कोई अता पता नहीं। बलोच हालत जंग में है और बलोच ये चाहता है कि जब तक हम अपनी सरज़मीन पे बाख्तियार ना हो, हमारे वसाइल, हमारी सरज़मीन हमारे इख्तियार में हो, कोई हमसे कोई भी तवक्को न रखे। बलोच का घर जल रहा है और कोई आके बैठ जाए कहे कि जी मैं यहाँ पे अमन की वो गीत सुनूंगा या अमन के जो है किस्से सुनूंगा, ये शायद उसकी बेवकूफ़ी है।
Pakistan's paramilitary forces have been relentless in their crackdown on rebels in this area for years. The Pakistani army has even built new military barracks here from where they launched their operations. But in most cases, the victims of these operations are civilians. As their body count rises, chances of an end to the attacks and counterattacks seem bleak.
एफसी को मैं कहूँ कि वो बलोचों के कातिल हैं तो ये ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा।
आज जो यहाँ पे जो जुल्म व सितम एफसी कर रही है उसकी मिसाल कहीं नहीं मिलेगी आपको। यहाँ तक कि यही एफसी थी जिन्होंने मतलब हमारे जो बिल्कुल गरीब लोग हैं उनको पकड़ के उनके माल मवेशी लूट लिए, उनको जलाया गया, उनको जलते हुए खोलते हुए ड्रमों में, डांबर के ड्रमों में, तारकोल के ड्रमों में उनको डाला गया।
Frontier Corps Balochistan has lost about 160 people in the way of duty. They have lost their life. 2 have embraced shahadat last evening, you must have heard about it. More than 300 have lost their limbs. And still we are there to support our people who are innocent. They are only very limited class of the terrorists, and we will make sure that over our dead bodies we will not let them radiate and spread more terror. Yes, we will have to sacrifice our life. So that is why they find FC to be standing like a tall wall.
But the army's failure to effectively deal with Baloch guerrilla fighters makes Islamabad see a link between the Indian presence in Afghanistan and the disorder in Balochistan.
Certainly, if there is an increase of Indian interference in Afghanistan, it is a matter of concern for Pakistan.
Is there interference of India in Balochistan issues and troubles?
I've already raised up with Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of India.
After the arrival of America, once again, Indians came riding on their back. So they are taking actually what is called a free ride on the American shoulders, and they came into Afghanistan and they started spreading their tentacle, and they are up to their old games. So behind this entire turmoil that one sees in Balochistan.
Well, there was a thinking in the United States that they wanted to separate Balochistan from Pakistan, so that in case Pakistan does not play the game with them, they could make use of the Balochistan territory as a separate independent state. And this was also the purpose of the Indians. So Indians and the Americans, they did collaborate, and all the conspiracy which had been going on from Afghanistan in particular and from other areas by American agencies, it was with that purpose, that they wanted to create an alternative, an independent Balochistan.
Baloch leaders, though, reject that they have any Indian support. However, they say that if India did want to help, it would be welcomed.
Even swine wants to help us. India is human, Hindus. What is strange about India for us Baloch, what is not for Punjabis, Americans or English? Is India such a demon? India wants to help us, we deny, because what we are true Muslims, we are true Pakistanis, neither applies. We are Muslims for our own sake, and we are more Baloch than Pakistani.
Back in the capital of Quetta, yet another protest. This time by Baloch women. They've taken to the streets demanding to know the whereabouts of their husbands and sons who have disappeared. Hundreds of young Baloch nationalists and activists have been picked up by Pakistani security over the last decade. Many of them were later found dead, their bodies showing signs of severe torture. For the families of the missing, such street protests have become an everyday activity.
कुछ ऐसे एरियाज़ भी है उनका अप्रोच मीडिया तक नहीं है, उनको मीडिया तक रसीद नहीं है, इस वजह से ये मुश्किलात हो रहे हैं। तो दूसरी जो इस हवाले से जो हम लोगों ने 1100 का फिगर कम्प्लीटली मुकम्मल किया है 3 महीने के अंदर, वो भी हमने अपनी मदद आपके तहत किया है। मुश्किलात भी ज़्यादा है, वसाइल भी हमारे पास, हमारे तंजीम के पास इतने नहीं है। तो इससे मालूम होता है कि इन ऑपरेशन के दौरान हज़ारों लोगों को उठाया गया है बलूचिस्तान से।
Missing people is another controversy. Let me tell you, starting from 12 to 13,000 people 3 to 4 years back, they have come down to only few hundred, let's say a little over 200. Either that demand was wrong or people have come back. If they have come back, has anybody said
in an area where international, regional, and local interests converge, there is every reason to believe that Pakistan's Baloch rebellion is only heading towards greater confrontation, greater suppression, and a constantly rising death toll. And if there is a ray of hope for the people of this region, it is at best very faint.